Hello, I'm Sue. I'm 78 years old and I feel like one of the luckiest people in the world. 18 months ago I was diagnosed with Big D, and Big D is now part of who I am. I call it Big D because dementia comes in many guises, and the word dementia looks more like how it is at the end rather than what it's like now. Like many people of my age, I've got other health issues. I've got heart, thyroid, gut, skin, bone, ears, eyes, knees, back. Giving Big D a name that isn't medical helps me to think of it more like a companion on my life's journey than another ailment or frailty. I became well acquainted with Big D in the 1980s. I first met it when my mum wrote letters from Canada about my paternal grandparents who had Alzheimer's, a new name to me then, about which I learned a lot from her detailed letters. I became reacquainted with Alzheimer's some years later when my partner and I were looking after my parents, who both had Big D. My uncle also developed it, and I had a very good friend at college who developed it too. These experiences enabled me to recognise Big D when it moved in with me, which led to me seeking an assessment which led to my diagnosis. To add to a bit of randomness to the mix, Big D has not chosen to take up residence with my older brother. Having it diagnosed in the early stages was the beginning of what I've come to think of as a journey in my life. Big D is my constant travel companion. My early diagnosis meant I was started on medication, which I like to think and hope is slowing Big D down a bit. Getting a diagnosis, even though I was expecting it, left me with a jumble of feelings and thoughts that were whizzing around in my mind. I had to get these thoughts unscrambled, so that afternoon I wrote down a to-do list to remind myself of what to do. This is a to-do list that has been a lifeline since then. It gave me a focus and led to many new doors opening. On top of the list was tell everyone I have dementia. It isn't a lifestyle choice. This led to letters and phone calls, which made me feel very supported. Everyone has been kind and forgiving of the social gaffes that Big D sometimes causes. Second on the list was start a dementia diary to remind me of the ups and downs, but also maybe it might be of some use to my family or dementia research or support workers, who knows? Keep on doing everything I enjoy while I can. Gardening, writing, taking my therapy dog into school, art, reading. There's so much to do and the days whiz by. Having made my plan, I put it into action straight away. Once the letters were written, I started my diary. My mind was a whirl of so many thoughts and feelings. I needed to get organised, so I got a notebook and started making random notes. I turned this into a collection of snippets of rhymes that I'd written and thought pieces about experience of being a person with Big D. All this activity cemented the idea that Big D was a forever companion on my latest journey. A dementia diagnosis isn't the end, it's the beginning of a new journey. Since birth, we've been on one journey after another. We've learned how to walk, to talk, to play, to go to school, to be a teenager, to be an adult, to be someone's other half, to be an employee, to be a retiree. Each stage in our lives has been a journey. Even going on holiday is a journey. Any journey works out for the best when we've identified what equipment we already have. We have knowledge of life, skills, and friends and family. We must make the most of all of these. We must be prepared for things to change. The only constant in life is change. We must find and make use of a good travel agent or guide to plan us, and as much as we can, and what we want to do on this journey. We can still have aspirations, and we can still have knowledge and skills to use. Keep reviewing our plan, changing it as new opportunities arise or some things become more difficult. One of the first poems I wrote was the geriatric lament. This body of mine is letting me down. I try very hard not to rant or to frown. But with ears, guts and muscles all having a grumble, my brain cells gone AWOL and bones all a crumble. Two options are open. The one is to curse, while the other, my favourite, is write a wee verse. Each day brings new battles, some reruns, some new. And my fickle-willed body says, over to you. So along with the medics, the potions and pills, I continue to fight with its tumbles and spills. I'll try to keep smiling and having some fun and not see the shadows because I'm facing the sun. Having written that poem, I read it to a few friends and they said, well, that's a lovely poem and that's really lovely. And I went home feeling very smug. And then I thought, well, what is my sun? And I realised that the sun is my garden, my hobbies, my dogs, my family, my friends, not all in that order. My family and friends might be first. It's really, there is so much sun in my life. And then I thought, what are the shadows? And the natural shadows that we'll all have with the dementia diagnosis. Worry about what's going to happen, who's going to look after us, are we going to have enough money? But at the early stage of this journey, it gave me time to sit and talk with my family, my friends, and come up with solutions. And we had lots of interaction with the professionals as well, giving us advice. So the shadows quickly got put to one side with solutions. I then decided to make a picture of that shadow and sunshine and fill it in myself. And this has been taken up by Alzheimer's Society, who are trialling it in Essex as an early intervention tool. So if it's done nothing else, that early time of feeling not sure of where I was going has paid off. So far, I've found this approach to be interesting and sometimes exciting and sometimes tiring. But always so far, I have met some amazing people and I've had some really good support from travel agents in EIDS, the Early Intervention Service, Alzheimer's Society, Age UK, community transport, librarians, everyone. Once they know I'm travelling with Big D as a companion, they're all really helpful and kind and even at times inspiring. I've also found new doors opening and opportunities to do something useful, which I'll tell you a bit more next week. In the meantime, I'll share with you 2 pieces of writing I've got on my wall where I can see them. The first one is important things to think about before Big D takes hold. We still have time to tell all those who matter to us just how much we love and appreciate them. To do what we can to help those who'll be helping us on this journey, our friends, family, professionals, by listening to them, taking their advice and not being stubborn about relinquishing our independence. Most of us would like to be remembered. We all need to know that when we've gone, someone somewhere will find some evidence to show that we existed and breathed and loved and lived our lives as best we could. So while we can, let's dig out photos. My family members have been absolute stars and put all the photos on their phones, and don't they take a lot of phones these days, pictures these days. They've put them into these wonderful little books that you can get made up by, I don't know, they do it online, which is like magic. But they are wonderful, they're small and compact, and I think they will be taken with me right to the end of my journey. Happy memories. So while we can, let's dig out the photos, write letters and notes and what matters and put them somewhere where they can be found. Record what memories you have of life. My memories of life now are my very earliest ones, but I think my kids might find them interesting, or my grandchildren, about this archaic way of life. Make memories for others while you can. Give hope to others. Stay busy with what you enjoy. Your efforts may leave things for others to enjoy too. But most of all, try not to give in to anger. Whatever I forget, I'll try to remember the following and hope that others will remind me too. There is no map for our individual Big D journey. I must find my own path with help from others and try to work out how best to travel along it. If my planned path comes to an end or I get lost, I won't despair. Getting lost might lead to finding a new path which could be even easier or more interesting. However small or dim the light, I'll try to walk towards it. It's better than the darkness. I'll keep looking forward Once I can see the obstacles in my path, I may be able to work out how I can remove them, or I can ask others to help. I'll try to be thankful for those who have burned themselves out, bringing light to others. And I'll try to tell myself when the going gets tough, the smallest step is better than no step at all. When I can't explain how I'll feel, I'll tell myself that words are not adequate for all things. Tears, hugs, smiles and laughter can all speak volumes.